welcome back to another episode of Knicks Morning Koffee. I'm Mr. King. Y'all know my partner, Joe Cool.
What's going on?
All right, so at first we got to get this out the way. The Jets got their victory. Season starting off looking good. As far as the Knicks are concerned, preseason is over. We finished 3-1. More importantly, 3-1 with our main guys playing well. So we have to say that because that's important. So the question I'm going to ask to start the show off with is, how does that carry over to the start of the season? You know, which starts Wednesday against Memphis. So with that preseason that we had, where does that put us starting out the season for the Knicks? So are we going to come out concerned about playing time for people, or are we going to come out kind of like the way we left off, meaning that our main guys was getting the ball in a lot of their hot spots, and we was playing well. Some of the goals that Tibbs wanted to achieve in preseason, we kind of achieved those goals in terms of up tempo with the ball, things like that. So how does that preseason, like from what you saw, how you think that going to carry over into the start of the season?
I think it's pretty well. Just some people probably going to play longer than others. And if you don't step up, it looks like you're going to lose your spot. Oh,
I'm sure, big time. Sorry, my other question is this then. The way we looked in preseason, because at times we looked really well, how do we stack up against the second-tier teams in the NBA or really in the Eastern Conference? Because we know that the top-tier teams, okay, the Brooklyn, the Milwaukee, the Philly, we're going to give them that. As far as we're still going to try to beat them, but we know they're the top-tier teams. And if you want to maybe throw Boston up there, but as far as Toronto's and the Cleveland's and the other guys, you know, would you think we stack up against them?
Nah, I still think we a 6-seed kind of team.
Yeah, we could be
playing well. I mean, like, not even we playing well. We still don't have but not every team does. We still don't have like an identity, like a Golden State pass it around kind of identity. We don't got one person that just dominates the game. We don't even have that. Yeah. We just got a lot of players that play exceptionally well. You know what I mean? Like, they can do what they're supposed to do. It's not like we throwing it down to Mitchell Robinson. He's completely dominating. And at times, it really looked like he's dominating the game. Like, they really can't hold him if we just lobbing it up to him or he's getting the ball. He's dunking it back.
Yeah, we just want to see that other. We just want to see that other step in Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I seen he tried to go drive and then he lost his footing.
Yeah.
But they all like, you know, said, go ahead.
And that comes from rushing. Yeah, that comes from rushing because you're too scared. You got to throw the ball back to somebody.
But there is times I say this. We always say let Mitchell Robinson shoot. There's a couple of times I feel like he just passed up on just even looking at the basket at the three-point line, just trying to go for the play.
Because the coaches ain't saying it. We saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got to just take it.
So now that just told me right there, because he didn't even try one in preseason, like the driving, they probably said you can do that. But when it comes to you just pulling, they probably said nah. Yeah,
he just wanted to be a simple pick and pop, or sometimes on the fake handoff. You know, take it and just let it fly from that 8 to 10
I like
feet.
when I seen it. Sometimes I didn't like it. I like RJ hitting the shots still when we really need it. You know, I like Brunson putting a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, RJ came up big.
It was a lot of things that people did well that should translate into the season very well. Like OB hustling plays, right? It wasn't so much that he was playing well, it was he was doing the things that other people are just not gonna do. He's running like like OB and Reddish. Reddish, like you said, kind of laid back. The ball comes to him. Yeah. He's playing good defense, but then OB, it's almost like he's gravitating to the ball. Like he's running for the ball. He's running for the alley. He's making the extra hustle plays. You know what I mean? Everybody did things well. Like Reddish did play a lot of some good defense. McBride defense. Yeah.
And that's gonna be something with the way OB's running the floor. That's an emphasis, I think, too. And that's going to be something that teams are going to have to give for us to gear up to. But I think the way we playing, I think that could sustain us a little bit starting out the season to kind of stay with the middle, the middle of the pack of the Eastern Conference. Because there's the Eastern Conference teams, okay, they got better. We know that Cleveland them got better. But how much better than us did they get? They had a nice cohesion last year, so they got to make that adjustment with Donovan Mitchell. But I was trying to think of what would be my 3 keys to have ingredients that'll have us to be able to have a successful season. And then one of them I came up with is that, well, not I came up with, but we got the point guard that we wanted. Right? We got Jalen Brunson, who we know he's going to right the ship. Okay, he say he's not the savior, which he ain't, but we know he's going to right the ship when things get bad. We know we're going to be able to count on him to be able to, get a bucket if we get into like some stalled offense. Or, put the guys in place so that people can kind of get the shots that they want. So we got that. The other thing is that, and this because it happened in preseason, all 5 of our starters in preseason was plus minus, was on the upside. So that's an excellent ingredient. If you're talking about, the Randalls and the RJs, but you're also talking about Fournier and the Mitch, that when they was on the floor, our starters, we was a plus minus, for the upside. So that's used. That's if you're an analytical guy too. But that's still good in them terms that, we starting to work together as a team, and that means we're building towards something special. And then the other one is, and it could be one of the most important, is our depth. Like, we always say we got so many guys fighting for position, but we got guys that could be starters, and then our wild card is Hartenstein, because his backdoor plays brings us an element that we didn't have before. So that means with all that going for us, that gives us a barometer to say that going in, we got work to do. We still got to build our identity, but that's giving us something to say that when the season starts, that at least we know as a team, based off of preseason, that we got some things that we can hold our hat on.
Yeah, the hardest part is it's not like, even with our center position, right? When Mitch come out, our paint defense go down, but then our perimeter offense go up.
Yeah.
With Hartenstein. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like that's why we don't got an identity. It's like 2 different teams is on the floor every time.
Which is good for us.
It's either like the super running team or the I want to say it's more strength with the first unit.
And I want to add that with Hartenstein, because just like what you said, when he comes in, before teams could play us the same way the whole game because Nerlens came in and did the same thing Mitch did. So other than Randall, our offense didn't change that much, even though Derrick Rose pushed the ball a little bit. Yeah, but now teams have to adjust to us. And if our second team depth is supposed to be that good, so if your starters beat us, your second team definitely not going to beat us.
Yeah, no.
So and then when we get to the point we blend the two together, now the Knicks got something going. It just don't look right to people in terms of you don't have that massive star.
Yeah, the only thing I don't think we're gonna get, and maybe not, maybe we are, because the rotation didn't look too bad. But then when you add McBride, Derrick Rose didn't play much, and I'd rather it be that way. But Derrick Rose still looks like maybe he wants to play.
Yeah, and you see that move he put on them.
Yeah, so it's like McBride's defense does add an element. I was worried about his height, but it don't look like it mattered. You know what I mean? And him in the rotation, like however they were doing the rotation, I couldn't even tell y'all how the rotation actually was, but it worked for me. I was like, all right, if it's gonna be like this, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, they ain't definitely gonna be like that.
But it seemed like everybody played.
That's 11, 12 guys playing, because when you count McBride, we talking about.
And I'm not adding Jericho in the rotation. I'm not adding all them other new guys that we didn't know their names.
Yeah,
Trevor Kills. I didn't add them.
But without adding them, you talking.
It's still like it seemed like it was a lot. Like damn near a whole nother 5 came out.
Well, we got 3. We literally got 3 teams, because if you count our regular 5, our subs, and then if you count the next 5 would be Jericho, probably Reddish, Deuce. So we got Kills. So we got 3 teams. So that should bode well for foul trouble and injuries. All right, so let me jump to this. A few episodes ago, we was having like a little bit of debate on whose team it was. But I was saying how regardless of how we feel about RJ and Brunson, other teams are mostly going to be gearing up to stop Julius. Well, Tibbs kind of answered that to me the other night when he was talking about, he didn't come out rightly to say whose team it is, but to quote some of the things he was saying when it was asked about the direction that the Knicks are going to be going in as far as completing a game, he said it's more than just Julius, which we want to hear that. And he wants to know, too, is Julius fitting in with the starters? Right? He said that. So now he emphasized how are we complimenting Julius and how are we bringing the best out of Julius? So that's still telling you that we're still, even though we're more than Julius, we're still centered around Julius Randle. And the one other thing he also said was, how does Julius bring the best out of the other guys? So that's telling you that he's still the face of the franchise as far as Tibbs is concerned. And that's not even really a big secret. We just know that we picked up Brunson for a reason, to stabilize our team. But, you know, as far as Tibbs is concerned, Julius is still our guy, regardless of what we say. But now, to Julius' credit, he also said when they talked to him about Brunson and the rest of the guys on the team, he said we all play together a few years now, so we kind of know each other and we get that cohesion. We know each other's strengths. So that's big for Julius to say. Not only that we out there on the court, RJ, I know what you can do. Evan, I know what you can do. So that's big for Julius, meaning that
they should have told Evan stop dribbling so much.
Well, somebody need to tell him. But that means Julius is buying into the team ball. For him to say those type of things, because he could take Tibbs' endorsement and just be hard-headed and run with it. But to actually feel like he said, we're going to try to build on stuff from last year.
I'm kind of going to say this. I don't think Julius Randle's problem wasn't that he couldn't play team ball. I think when he played that good season and when we needed to lean on him come playoff time, he couldn't deliver. That was my problem. I don't think he has an issue in the locker room. Like, I don't think his issue is team ball, because he was moving the ball. It translates into looking like it makes him play is better. But then when the game is on the line, I want to see Antetokounmpo out there. I want to see LeBron James out there. I want to see Ja Morant out there. I want to see Donovan Mitchell. So when we look for you, we like, all right, we want to see Julius Randle. What are you going to do? Like, save us. And you can't do it. So we passing you the ball. Now it's looking crazy.
Yeah. And
then all season long, you know, now you're out there just looking like what Melo was doing. You know what I mean? So that was the big issue.
Unless he gets back to what he was doing the year before.
Yeah. But now I feel like it's going to be easier for him because we got the point guard out there that can make that happen.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of you knocking down your shots.
Yeah.
If you knock down your shots, they got to guard you out there. If you could just run past your man, we can get in the post. Yeah, you unstoppable now. Because now they got to worry about, don't front. They got to worry about Jalen Brunson. Because even I was like, damn, I don't even know how you guard him.
Nah, he got that. He got handles, so he can get to the hole anytime he want to.
I forgot who I was talking to. I think they said with Luka Doncic there, he was averaging like 16. So maybe he's probably projected down in the Knicks, to me, averaging probably like 19.
Well, he has ability.
Because like I said, at some points of the game, it's like, remember, Derrick Rose was doing it. Please, somebody just save us in this moment right now.
Yeah.
And you can count on Jalen Brunson to hit a three. You can count on him taking it to the hole. We're not going to stay stagnant and not scoring. Yeah. I don't think we go on a scoring drought this year. Like, we passed it.
Well, that was the beauty. That was the beauty of, you look at the last game. Who was it? RJ, Mitch, and Brunson with the high points. But it was one of the games Brunson went 4 for 14. But he had like 8 or 10 assists. So that means even if he's not scoring, as long as he's putting pressure on the defense and finding an open man, we know he can hit an outside shot. We know he can penetrate at will. We know he can play off the pick and roll. So as long as our point guard, like remember Alfred Payton would, and I kind of liked a little bit about Alfred Payton, but how he would take himself out of the play. Brunson will never be taken out of the play because even playing off the ball, which he's used to, he's still a factor. He's still a 3-point threat, or get the ball, swing it on the weak side, he still can drive to the hole. So we're always going to be 5-on-5 now, especially as long as Mitch is constantly involved in the offense. And there was a lot of nice things what Mitch did the other night, that when the ball came off with either hand, he was dunking or tapping it back in.
I was concerned, though, about Mitch's and Brunson's chemistry. Because that first game looked shaky. Mitch is looking for the alley. Brunson not even looking to throw it up there. So I'm not sure if he did. I think it was the last game where they was looking for Mitch, it was almost like they was pointing it out like, look like it was like they were throwing it to Mitch.
Well, especially when IQ came in the game.
Yeah. So like that's my only concern. Like Brunson you gotta feed that big man. Like, I don't know what it is about big men to guards and like even with Shaq and Kobe, I don't know what that dynamic is, but you gotta feed the big man.
Yeah, you play what you used to, and the more that Mitch makes himself available, like even when Mitch would get the rebound to go back up, and then they would like semi-block it or hell ball, because he don't go up with, but somebody should be telling him that. Give the pump fake, because you go down too low, get everybody in the air, then go up and flush it. But just to get it and go back up, that's not going to work every time. You know, that's not going to work on a guy that's not a good defender. But I think with him and Brunson, because they said some nice things earlier in the preseason games about their chemistry. So I think they're working on that type of stuff in practice. I think what Mitch and Randall I'm going to trust is that when he got the ball, we don't got to worry about it. So I could get to my spot. Because we're not worried about him stealing the ball or turning it over. Even though as a team, we had some silly turnovers at times. Because when you start running new, you're still learning each other. Because our guys ain't used to running. And they talked about how when Obi leaks out, why he's not a good defensive rebounder, because he's gone after, which is fine. That's part of our offense. But when you got a Mitchell or Randall who can rebound a lot, it makes up for that. And then and Wiley also pointed out that everybody wants to see Obi in the starting lineup, maybe instead of Mitch. Obi don't rebound like Mitch. So
how would they do that though? Like,
well, yeah, they don't. Mitch. Not Mitch. I'm saying like Randall. Randall is a good rebounder. And he's gonna get so Obi don't do that yet, but that's a part of his game that can come.
Like Obi in the starting lineup to me brings a whole nother dynamic to the game, because like I said, he's almost like a I want to say like a what you call it on the Bulls, Dennis Rodman. Like he's like on everything. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he's not just stagnant, sitting out there, staying still, waiting for the ball.
Nah, he moving. He moving, and we need to find ways to give him the ball too. That's not just in transition. And then we also have, and we're gonna do a show where we'll do the preview of our players and the other teams later. But we also have our dynamic of IQ and Quentin Grimes. I think that's gonna be something special. Because one of them every game, if not both, I think one of them is going to have an impact in every game, if not both. And that's going to be scary for the other teams. Because I think at some point, Grimes is going to probably upseat Fournier in the offense. Especially because the way Tibbs is talking about him, it's just too much of a praise. And I would not be surprised, maybe 2 months in, that Grimes have taken his spot. And to me, he don't have to right now because, we're going to find minutes for him anyway. But the impact that he's going to have on the game, I think is going to be something going to help take us to another level. But also with IQ, the impact that he has on the game, everybody trusts his IQ. And I looked at the game before the last one, even though we lost, Derek wasn't even bringing the ball up at all. IQ brought it up every time they was on the court together, pretty much. And I don't know if that's the right formula for us all the time. When Derek's in the game, Derek should have the ball in his hand.
See,
again, when he's in the game, IQ could play the two.
I still feel like Derrick Rose should be treated like a quarterback or something. Like, just don't let him get touched all season long. Let him come down and just shoot the ball. Don't try to have us bring us back in games. Let's let him relax for 82 games.
Nah, we can't. Because
when we get to the playoffs, I feel like he could turn it on at any time.
You can't. And some better players have proven that you can't turn it on any time. Derek plays off momentum.
But if that was the case, then he'd still be starting.
I mean, you get older in the injuries. You're not necessarily.
I just don't.
Older guys aren't starters anymore unless you LeBron James.
I'm just concerned about his wear and tear. I feel like he's too. I say it all the time. There's always the player that we get on the Knicks, a veteran, Baron Davis, even with Jason Kidd. They always get hurt or something happens where it's like, I think we wore him out.
But we don't have the luxury not to play Derek because we not.
I'm not saying not playing.
I'm talking about even regularly to get where we got to go.
Bring the ball down and he's almost like the two guard.
Yeah, but that's not his game. That's good sometimes. But Derek got to be Derek goes downhill.
But let him have fun.
Right, but he goes downhill creating off the bounce. That's where all his points most. Now he'll do the pull up, but most of all his points come off of going down and then reacting to the big man that comes over to block it and switching hands. He got to keep that momentum going, and we don't have a successful season unless we got Derek doing that. So to save him for the end of the season, we may not get there.
I'm talking
if
about
Derek don't get to be Derek.
Let's go back in time. I feel like because Derrick Rose was doing it. Our concern was we need another point guard because Derrick Rose was going to get hurt. So quickly did what he was supposed to do. We get to the playoffs. We get that 6 seed that we wanted, but we couldn't deliver because Derrick Rose is not 100% if he wasn't even hurt. Randall doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, but Randall and RJ,
but now everybody's coming back stronger and better. And we got the point guard that we wanted. And Quickly's better. Derrick Rose can stay healthy.
It's
a whole different ball.
Right, but as long as that's enough to sustain us. If Brunson and Quickly is enough to sustain us to get to where we want to go, fine. Yeah. I don't got no problem with Derek sitting. But right now, I think we have to establish our identity, and Derek is going to help do that. Because IQ can also come in and play the 2 sometime, too. You know, the 2 guard, because the way he plays, get the ball in the wing, he shoots, and he drives.
And the only reason why I want to see McBride play is I want to kind of see how he stacks up against Steph Curry.
We don't got time for that. It's too many. Because Grimes, you can put Grimes out there for that. Like, we're gonna lose it. We're gonna lose it somewhere. I think Deuce proves he's gonna be able to get some of his spot minutes in the game, but that's all it's gonna be. He's not getting Derrick Rose minutes. Yeah, he just ain't. He don't even produce enough on the offensive end to get Derrick Rose minutes, and he's not that kind of a stopper. He's a pressure guy on the ball. You don't beat Steph Curry just by pressuring the ball.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how we stack up against Golden State. That's all.
Yeah, well, they're not a good measuring stick because of the way they move the ball and the way they do things. They play their role. Yeah, and that ball's gonna pop
consistency,
around.
You know what I mean? That's really all you want is consistency. Yeah. The measure stick can't be the Lakers because they trash. Even though they got great players.
I mean, we just go with the Eastern Conference guys. Yeah. The measure, it could be Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee. Yeah, it could be that. But you can't be Golden State because
that's consistency again.
Their ball zips. Yeah. So, but those teams are also still learning each other.
How do you feel about Victor Wembanyama, whatever how you say his name?
The young kid?
He's like 7'4".
Yeah, I think next year somebody's going to get a gem. Now, I wouldn't do nothing to tank to get him. But I would like to have him. It would probably take him a year or 2 to put on some weight.
I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out where the heck would he go. Would he go to power forward? Would he go to the center?
He'd probably go to the power forward position. And then,
he's 7'4".
Yeah, yeah. But look at Porzingis, 7'4".
Yeah, you right.
And he went to the power forward position.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of good guys coming out in this next draft. But we shouldn't even be looking at the next. Not our conversation, but as far as the Knicks. Y'all have a chance to stay in that middle pack and then fight your way up from there.
Yeah, I like Obi, and I'm rooting for Randall. But me looking forward, I'm looking for, can we get that stretch forward kind of player? Or that, cause that's really what it comes down to. Somebody got to be dominant other than that point guard.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to help us in the stretch forward situation is when Hartenstein comes in. At least we know he's not a stretch 4, but he can. You need it. Well, when we had the chances to get Bertans or one of them guys, we had a chance to get some of them kind of guys, and we just kept not wanting to go that route. So they've been out there and been available. Same thing with Bogdanovich that went to, where did he go? Cleveland. He went somewhere where he's not Detroit, where that's going to be a waste for him to be out in Detroit. But again, we let guys like that every summer. We letting these guys get away. That could be the answer to your problems, you know, to keep the other defense honest. We decided not to go that route. So if we're not going to go that route, then we have to make sure that we strengthen the kind of players that we got, which is all around that 6'5", 6'6" type of a guards. You know, guard and small forward. We're gonna have to ride that and beat teams with that because we got more than most teams got, and that's gonna have to be our MO, unless Randall has that magical season again.
Yeah, right now I think we just stuck at really good players, but can we make it work? And what we do in the future, I'm just thinking about all the picks we got, now all the leverage we got, but I feel like they just can't trade lateral. They got to make sure it goes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and which is hard because it's still a crapshoot. Because now that person got to be able to play with the team you already have. But Jalen Brunson, to me, he stays quickly. He might have to stay.
You made the decision. You made the
guards.
decision.
I feel like your guards is good. It's everything else now. Your centers are good. I feel like we good with the centers.
So then, where is it then? Is it Julius?
Because the pressure. Because it's gonna come down to Julius, RJ. If Obi Toppin is like those players right there. So this tells you now. I feel like point guard, we don't even have an issue. They hitting their shots. They get into the basket. They playing defense. Right? What else do you want? You want Donovan Mitchell or something? All right, cool, but
well, the pressure's going to be on Grimes too because you didn't take Donovan Mitchell. So you add one All-Star, then maybe next year you add another with a trading deadline. So we wanted to keep Grimes.
I'm still adding Grimes into the guard category.
But he's going to have to be dominant.
In the guard category, it's when it comes down to small forward, power forward, and not even center. Because like I said, those three, I feel like you good with that.
Yeah.
Because I'll be trying to ask people what center is any better. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, we're not losing the battle at center. Anyway.
Jokic.
Yeah, but those centers aren't winning championships.
I'm talking, they're not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, at what?
Yeah. I mean, you got Wiggins. They be flirting around with Wiggins. People talk about, you know, I mean, but what would you give up for a guy like Andrew Wiggins? So
now when it comes to small forward, power forward, now we in trouble.
Yeah.
That's where it gets. So now y'all got to prove yourself of, all right, if y'all cannot do this, we can't get the 6th seed or we can't even get out the second round of the playoffs. Where is the issue? We're not gonna look at point guard no more. I guarantee.
Well, we superstars.
Nobody's gonna say.
We know the issue.
Yeah, nobody's gonna say. But the superstar is gonna be for what position? That's what's gonna come down to.
Look, we decide to keep these players.
Like if they say right now you could trade and you can get rid of Randall, maybe one of our guards and somebody for LeBron James, you're gonna do it because that's what we're struggling at. That power forward position. Cam Reddish. Now look, they flirting with trade rumors already. Obi Toppin should be playing, but it still doesn't look like he's that dominant, even though he's all over the floor.
Yeah.
And Julius Randle, that got to get better. And then RJ, right? That, what it was, the 4th year?
Yep. Yeah.
He's not making a big splash of a name to say, oh, it's RJ Barrett. He's not doing nothing crazy out there.
Do it this year.
He got to do it this year. Or now I can visually see this is where it got to go.
Yeah,
don't tell me about no numbers and analytics.
RJ has to do it this year. You can see it on
the floor now. Like this is where the problem is right here.
Obi to a degree. Obi don't have to do it this year only because Randall get the bulk of the minutes. But RJ and Grimes has to be the two that take that humongous leap. And the way it looked like, RJ gonna probably be an all-star. The way it looked, because he seems like the game slowed down for him a little bit. Grimes has to get to that level because of the hype, the praise that Tibbs and them put on him by not making the deal. Then that means now you have to come back and you got to almost be a Superman in your role. Ain't saying you got to come out and average 20, but your time on the court got to be an impactful time on the court, and I believe he can. So, but we can put you in all-stars mindset to other people when you're on the court. But that's what it's got to be. That 27-point game he had last year, I think another high 20-point game, and games that we won, we're going to have to get those in a consistent fashion from him. All right, so, folks, this is the Knicks start Wednesday. We're going to try to come back and do a season analysis on where we think we're really going to end up in the year compared to the other teams. We didn't ask y'all to like, comment, subscribe. We kind of hope this time y'all do it on your own. You know, we see the views are okay for what we're doing right now, but the likes aren't there, and we need the likes.
You know what I mean? Get us in circulation.
Get us in there, because this year, this is going to be a fun year for the Knicks, and we all want to be able to share it together. All right, but until next time, you said we might go live this week?
Yeah, we might go live after the Grizzly game.
So look for that after the Grizzlies game, Knicks Morning Koffee live. Peace.